Hello everyone. Today I'm building a small circuit as part of a build up to a bigger circuit. So I'm going to do it in small stages so I can keep track of it because I'm not just going to be building it on a breadboard. I want to build it on a perf board. So planning it out would be beneficial for me. So what I'm going to be building is a 1 to 2 decoder or encoder or demultiplexer. I don't know, whatever you call it. Basically, the way it works is you have one input and you have two outputs. So we'll call this output 0 and output 1. Right, so the idea is that when this is 0, output 0 is 1, and the rest, whatever else is left, is false or low. And when it's 1, this is low and this is high. So it's like a counter. So it will just count whatever's in binary here, output just one line on this side. So how would you make this? So if that's 0, we want this to be 1. Well, that's basically an inverter, isn't it? So let's draw an inverter here and plug that on there. So now when that's 0, that will be 1, and when it's 1, that will be 0. Now this one, we want this to be 0 when that's 0 and 1 when it's 1. Well, that's basically no change, is it? So it's like a buffer. So let's draw a buffer. So that's our basic 1 to 2 encoder. It will always output something here on one of these, and it will determine this will determine what that is. The reason we use a buffer here rather than just connecting a line is that internally these things can sink current, they can draw it in, so they can actually be low, not just cut off, and they also have power, so they can source current as well, so they can source and drain. So these can actually be high and low, not just on and off, or high and no connection, basically. So how do we make this in a circuit? So let's start with just our input. And firstly, let's get the inverter out of the way. So an inverter is a transistor. So we want power, collector, base, and the emitter. So let's draw this. That's what they look like. And so we need a resistor here because this is our base. This would be 10k because you don't need much. And I go straight into that. So what this does, because it's inverting, we actually want to have ground here. And up here will be a power, so VCC. And actually, we need a resistor there, so that will be 1k. And our output will actually be here. So this is output 0. So let's just do input here. So when this is 0, this is closed. The gate here is closed. So current will just go straight from there to output. When this is 1, however, the gate opens here and this power goes straight to ground. So this turns off or goes low. Now for the other one, the buffer, so I keep moving this, it's a similar way, it's a similar concept, but these are actually swapped around. So do our collector, base, and emitter. And our 10k resistor, we need that again. And so this would still be ground, but like I said, we have to swap these around. So this will actually be our, I've gone right off the page. So yeah, this will be VCC. I might put a resistor here as well, just because there's a potential that could go backwards, but I'm going to assume it isn't. I'm just going to assume it's the inverse of that. But on this one, the output is here instead. Output 1. So what's happening here is that when this is 0, nothing happens here. This is closed. So no power is getting here, but this is connected to ground still. So output 1 is low. When this is 1, the gate opens and allows VCC into here, and because of this resistor it's blocked, so it would rather go this way, so that becomes a 1. So that's our inverter and that's our buffer, and this is our 1 to 2 encoder. So that's how that works, and now I'm going to build it. Get rid of my pad here. Right. Actually, I'll build it on here. It makes it a little bit easier. Right. So what we've got here is 2 transistors. Got a nice big box of transistors here. It's like 400 in there, I think. Just have some cables on standby here. We need 4 resistors. So we need 2 10Ks. These get very nice and tangled. Yeah, 2 10Ks and 2 1Ks. Right, so let's just build these gates first. Right. So we'll just bung them somewhere in the middle here. So you have to remember that on these, you can see the shape. There's a back here. That's actually sort of backwards. It's the collector, base, emitter. So this is the emitter, base is in the middle, and collector is on the left. But I actually want them that way around, just because I read it left to right, so it makes a little bit more sense to me. So bung these in here. That's our 2 resistors. These are our 1Ks. Yep. So these on the inverter, we'll call this one the inverter. The emitter, sorry, the collector is tied to VCC like this. Wait. Turn it around. That's better. That makes more sense. And on the inverter, we have the resistor on the emitter, and it goes to ground. And our 10Ks go to the base here. Oh, actually, let's do it this way, because then I can have both the inputs in the middle here. Like that. Right, so that's our things. We need to still tie them directly. So here's my tweezers. Let's get a couple of these little ones. So the buffer needs to be tied directly to the VCC. That goes there. And a slightly bigger one for the ground rail here. It's slightly further away. Yeah, so this one here is tied to ground rail. Missed the hole slightly. There we go. So those are our buffers. Need to grab a couple of LEDs so we can actually see the output. That would actually mean I need to grab some more resistors as well, actually. Let's do some red ones. Don't use red too often. And a couple more. We'll just use 1Ks for this as well, so it's not too bright. Right, there we go. So our outputs for these, on the buffer, it's on the output here. So we'll put that there. And on the inverter, it's on the where it comes in. Emitter? Yeah, it's on the emitter. Okay, so I've actually got to go a little bit further there because it's hidden behind that. Right. No, that's wrong, isn't it? It's collector base emitter. Oh, what have I done here? Oh yeah, no, sorry, that's absolutely fine. Confusing myself here. Right, and just tie them to the ground. Hopefully this works first time, otherwise I'm going to feel rather silly. Right, okay, so now we need a couple of jumpers. So this is to the inverter, this is to the buffer, and we'll just put these on the same rail here, because this is going to be our, can't find a small one, there we are. So this is going to be our one bit of input, that's all we have. So we'll tie that to ground, because, right, okay, so if you turn this on, what would be on? So it's going to be 0, so this should be on. Hey, it worked. So it's reading that we're putting in a 0. Now if we take this line high, that should go off and that should come on. Voila. So that works nicely. Now another thing you can do, actually no, I'll explain that in the next video, because the next video will have that involved anyway. So yeah, that's a 1 to 2 encoder, or decoder, whatever. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.